Um, want to welcome everybody to tonight's workshop, the Caregivers Toolbox. Um, just a little introduction to us. Over here on the side, this is myself and my son Ben. Um, Ben is 22 years old with what they call uh, nonverbal autism, and I've become his advocate. So, also on our speaker box tonight, we have Miss Debbie. Debbie, can you say hi?
Hi, everybody. I'm the mother of a 31-year-old daughter with spina bifida and many other challenges. And it's been my pleasure to work with Jim on this particular workshop and helping out families any way I can.
Great. And we're also very honored to partner up with the Diary of Autism of an sorry, I'm gonna get it right in a minute. The Diary of an Autism Mom, Miss Christina.
Hi there.
Can you tell me how you got started?
So I started my page back in 2018, when I had just started fresh with my new life. And I was a newly single mom and I was just trying to figure things out on my own.
Hmm.
So I started the page in hopes that I could build my own little community because it was just myself. So that was my goal. And now today I'm almost at 15,000 followers and I have a huge community that I really love. And I'm just here to spread awareness and be an advocate for those who have no voice.
That's wonderful. Yeah, I really love your posts on Facebook. There's a lot of positive stuff, which sometimes it really brightens our day.
Thank
Um,
you.
so I want to welcome everybody. Just a little history. Tonight we're going to be talking about the Caregiver's Guide. A little history about the guide. It was first created with the thoughts of Ben's mom in mind. Uh, really, the journey of raising a son with autism who's nonverbal, whose meltdowns would go off in the middle of the room. You could hear him all over the school. But it really took a toll on her. So I started looking for ways, what can we do to help mom take a break? And luckily, we were able to find out that she would love gardening. So it was important for caregivers to give themselves a stress break, taking just 5 or 10 minutes themselves for whatever they love to do and to recharge. The concept of the guide has been developed and worked on by lots of different input from different caregivers. And we have our Miss Debbie certainly helped me with the creativity part of it. And we certainly couldn't have gotten this far without her.
Oh, thanks, Jim.
One of the bases of the what kind of started the whole thing off was a life coach gave me something called the life wheel. Um, and I asked her specifically, well, why do I need to put the different sections of my life on a wheel? Um, and what are the different sections for it? The idea is if you landed on a desert island and you're stranded on a desert island, you look around and you ask yourself, what sort of resources do I have at hand? What do I have at my fingertips now? What do I have that I can work for? What is it that I need um, to help find a balance in my life? Um, the sections of the wheel can be certainly different for each person. You kind of have to look at your health. It's not only your physical health, your mental health. What are you doing for stress relievers? Finances. A lot of our families aren't unable to work. Um, so, what other options, what other sorts of resources do you have? What sort of income do you have now? What sort of income would you like to build for? What are your resources in family? What are your resources with connecting with spirituality? How are your relationships with others, especially yourself? What sort of social life do you have? Um, maybe your education, you want something different with that. So the sections can change. You can write in, fill in your own blank. The idea is to list your resources on the life wheel and just kind of get an idea of what areas you want to work on. Um, I've used this several times. It comes in handy, especially when you're lost and you're going, "What do I do now?" It's great to pull down and look. So I've got to find the right screen. So the Ultimate Caregiver's Guide, tools, tips, and resources, finding a balance in life. It's been developed for the last 10 years by lots of different people. We try to keep designing it with in mind for everybody, for our stay-at-home parents, for our professional caregivers, for the sons, daughters, the people who really, really kind of suffer and need to find a balance to help them put things back in their life. We ended up creating an 86-page booklet. I don't, why 86 pages? To, to publish this on Amazon, we had to have at least 85 pages. So we started putting together all sorts of tools in the guide. If you, every caregiver out there, whether you're professional, whether you're family, whether you're, trying to raise an autistic child that you're just not sure, there's something in this manual for everyone. On our, not only our stay-at-home caregivers, but our other caregivers really experience compassion fatigue, where you're putting everybody else's needs, their survival becomes more important than yours. You feel guilty about doing something for you. So kind of a lot of, we'll call it stress overload. So we tried to put together one of the best manuals we could to offer something for everyone. Regardless of your situation, regardless, you're able, once again, it's kind of like the concept of if you're stranded on an island, these are your resources. What can you do to help you through them? Miss Debbie, can you take this one?
Of course. So first of all, that's the ideal place. That woman right there is in a spa, away from all of her stress and worries. And she's got, the lovely paste and the cucumbers. Well, I don't know about you, but I don't have time to go to the spa. So what I do for self-care is I always have a list of things that I can think about or plan for, and that's my calm and relaxed list. And I believe that by having one next to my coffee mug, having one at my bedside table, I keep adding to it things that someday I'm going to go do this week to make myself calm and stress free. I also identify triggers during my schedule and write those down right in my calendar, my daily planner, because if something's going to cause me stress and I haven't encountered it before, I want to be aware of the feelings. So the first time I did this, it was just all sorts of identifications. But then the second time I went back and looked at it, I could say, uh-oh, what happened last time? I don't want this to happen again. It made me feel awful. I'm going to try to prevent it from happening. And then I do have a go-to list of 3 lifeline friends that if something happens, all I have to do is text the group and say, all right, I am in need of help. And they will either call me or text me or, come over. So I really believe that having those lifelines and their numbers on speed dial are really important. A self-care routine, the activities I mentioned, exercise. I love to walk every morning. Now, right now, I live in the Northeast and it's not been the nicest weather, but when I can, I get out and just do a 20-minute brisk walk, and it really helps me connect with nature and spend some time getting physical exercise. And notice I said walk. I did not say run or jog because I'm not able to do that, but walking is good for everybody. I also have some hobbies, and I make sure that during the course of my week, I put in some me time, and I put it in there just like a dentist or doctor's appointment, because if I don't schedule it in, it won't happen. And then I do like to journal. And I know Christina's going to talk about that a little bit more, but I just like to have a journal next to my bed. At the end of the day, I write 3 things that I'm grateful for, and that helps. So those are the things that I wanted to say, Jim.
Wow, I love it. Um, Once again, we tried to include something a little bit for everyone. Um, this is one of my favorite slides. Of course, take a relaxing bath before bed. There's nothing, so always happy, something happy about a duck. Debbie, what about this one?
Well, it goes along with the self-care, but if you want to do an assessment, you do need to figure out what makes you relaxed and rejuvenated. Your sleep patterns, identifying changes that could improve your quality of sleep. It's really important to maintain a sleep schedule, but sometimes, of course, we can't shut the mind off. We keep thinking about all the things we have to do the next day. So you might need to think about what you can do at sleep time. Now, I put a reminder on my phone, and 45 minutes before my scheduled traditional bedtime that I aim for, it reminds me, okay, you've got 45 minutes before you should be upstairs in bed. What do you need to do so that you're up there on time? And that way you'll get your full 8 hours. I look at my diet. I try really hard not to eat anything heavy before I go to sleep because it inevitably doesn't go well. So I think of that. I also look for ways to increase more fruits and vegetables during the course of my week. And I find really new recipes to share with my daughter and my mom. Some of the things that I really enjoy doing are my social connections. Now, we are on our phones far too much these days with Facebook. And I admit I use my social media to reach out to people I haven't seen in a while. But there's a time and place for it. So I make sure that my phone is shut off before I go to bed. And I make sure my phone is shut off during mealtime. And I make sure my phone is shut off when I go to church. So those are things that I consciously do to give my brain a break and to connect with people on a real life basis. I also check my stress level. Are there certain times of the week that certain things get me more upset? And I work with my daughter who has special needs. And sometimes she'll say, Mom, it's that time of the month and I'm going to be grumpy and crabby. I'm just letting you know. And I said, I really appreciate you telling me, because we will now rethink what conversations we're going to have. And if you're not in the best mood, we're not going to have that heavy duty conversation today. I also make sure I have work-life balance. So on the weekends, I do things with my mom, things with my daughter, things for me. And I make sure that my work-related stuff is put on hold. And one person said, well, how can you do that? Use your cell phone for both. I said, my cell phone will go on silent when I'm doing family time. And if I have to, I will shut off my emails. And I will also physically leave my house if I do not want my landline to be accessed. So you need to think about what works best for you and your situation. But by doing that in front of your kids, they will see that you don't have to work all the time in order to be happy.
Wow, those are some great ideas. Once again, we worked on adding something for a little bit of everything. Um, I really like this slide here talking about trying to find a balance of life. Um, Debbie, since you're doing such wonderful, did you take this one too?
Sure. My friend teases me because I'll make a to-do list and I'll put things on. Like sometimes I go over it the night before and just say, okay, tomorrow, I'll highlight it. I'm very visual. So I'll highlight 3 of my priorities. But then I go and check them off and cross them off at the end of the day. But she said, yeah, you wrote down, take a lunch break. She goes, of course you. I said, oh no, if I don't put it on my schedule, I will not be able to cross it out and I won't take one. And she just laughs at me. And I said, no, it's really important to put the things that I want to do tomorrow. And I really need to take a full 30 minutes at least lunch break for me, for my body, for my mind, my soul, and my clients. The other thing is I really have a nice joy gratitude journal, and I write things that make me happy. And then when I'm having bad days, I will pull that little journal out and I'll look at it. I also sometimes put funny cartoons or memes and I'll tape them like from the comic strips into my joy gratitude journal. Affirmations or positive self-talk. Every morning when I get up, I tell myself 3 positive statements about what's going to happen that day. And by planting that seed in my brain and out in the universe, inevitably, I will have a more positive day than if I don't. And the last one is any self-care practice that work well. If I find something that really makes me happy, like I'll drive a certain way on my way to visit my first client on a Monday. And you know what? If that route is really good and calm and no construction, I'll take it again. However, if it doesn't work, I'm going to find another route so that it doesn't cause me stress on to my first appointment. All set, Jim.
Cool. this is a self-paced workbook. So it's really designed for caregivers to work out their own different plans. It's designed to guide you in the different steps. Some of these things are going to work for people, and some of these things are going to go, maybe that's not going to work for me, and that's okay. So we've tried to just jam pack this with a little bit of everything. Finding ways to recharge is always important. For me, finding ways to recharge is sitting outside, in the office underneath the large oak trees, um, and just breathing, connecting with the earth. Um, Eating healthy is always important. We try to just add something for everyone here in the entire guide. I am in favor of a nap, 20 minutes or longer, whenever possible. Um, but it just guides people to develop their own plans, develop, what works today may not work tomorrow, but but if you're with the world of internet changing the way it is, there's always ways to connect through courses, interests, and other things. And sometimes it helps just to take a break from caregiving, even if it's just 5 minutes for yourself. Um, Debbie, can you take this one?
The self-care plan and self-care routine. As I mentioned, if you don't put it in your calendar, chances are it might not happen. Now, that's a non-negotiable. I try really hard not to cancel those. I do have a self-care kit, and I keep something in my overnight bag if I'm going away. I keep another small thing of my favorite things in my bag that I work out of my car in. And I've given self-care kits to some of my friends for gifts, and they always appreciate, because I think about something that they like to do and I put it in their little self-care kit. My realistic goals are tangible. It's not something that's lofty and impossible. It's something that is measurable. And when you work in the school system for as long as I did, I was a teacher for 40 years, we called them SMART. They were short and measurable and accountable and realistic and tangible. So SMART goals. And it's really important to surround yourself with people. Those lifelines are there for you, and they're not going to judge you. So I'm so grateful for my 3 lifelines that I have in my little support group.
Wonderful, thank you. All our principles are over on our caregivers page for caregivers. And you can always reach us at whymightoday@gmail. We didn't have enough already, but we have some positive motivations. And Christina, are you ready for this?
Yep, I'm ready.
You tell me which one you want to go with, or I can scroll fast or slow. Ducks are always a good place to start. I don't.
I honestly, I would love to cover them all, but I think
I'll scroll and you tell me when to slow down or when to stop.
okay. Hmm.
This section of the workbook is to find positive affirmations in people's lives. It's real easy to get caught up in the fatigue and just feel like there's nothing but darkness. But if we can find out what our positive qualities, what's positive around us, I guess people would call it a gratitude list. And sometimes work from that. So this part of the workbook is for that. It's finding kindness and empathy, listening to others. These are the sort of qualities that you actually have, that you should be patting yourself in the back for, because that's part of the caregiver.
So I think I'm gonna go with the I am worthy and deserving of love and happiness.
Okay, go ahead.
So I'm choosing this one. I love them all. But I'm gonna choose this one because I kind of want to talk about like self-worth, um, especially when it comes to being a special needs parent. Um, it's so hard to take care of yourself and see all the good that you're doing, because I know that a lot of us focus on the like we can focus on the negative more than the positive. Um, and so what I do to kind of like ground myself is I journal and I write things in there, and I have and I am. So I will go ahead and say, like, I am worthy of good things. I have nice things. I have a lot of money. I kind of manifest my moods, and I manifest like a lot of the things that I have in my life. Um, so I really love that this section focuses on the positive, because I'm so sorry, my son is
That's okay.
um it's just hard when you're dealing with a lot, and like you said before, when you're inside of your head it just turns into insanity.
Hmm.
So I think it's important for us to like make oh, you're okay, make time to journal and write out these things, so that way you can see them, and when things are happening for you, you can look back at it and see all the change that's happening and things like that. um I'm so
Yeah,
sorry. I'm losing my train of thought because
you're all
That's
right.
okay. We understand. We understand.
There is a lot of positive that comes out when you just write it down. Sometimes
yes.
if it's in your brain, it's scrambled eggs, but if you can just write it down and see it in front of you, then you can draw it lines and arrows and circles. Um,
Yeah, I always like to go back. For instance, I started manifesting that I wanted to buy a home for me and my kids. Um, and every time I wrote down, I will have a new address. I will be a first time home buyer. And I remember getting approved for the home that I have, and I went back and I dated it and wrote like I made it here, like um
Good for you.
yeah, it's just
But
such a good feeling. And like I often think about all the times where I didn't think that I would be where I am as a single mom. Um and there was a point in my life where I was working at McDonald's only making $5,000 a year, but for me that was huge because it was the first thing that I had that was my own, and I was making money for my family.
okay.
Um, and it felt good. And even though I was very embarrassed of it at the time, now looking back, I'm so thankful that I had that stepping stone because of where I am now.
Right.
So it's very it's very important that you write down your bad days, so then when you do have the good days, you can look back and be like, wow, this I'm here where I've prayed to be, where I manifested to be. So this section is so important, being motivated and positively. So um this is just great. It's just great to do.
There's a lot of power in positive thinking, showing kindness. Um, because it's so easy to get lost as a caregiver into the fatigue. I think it's called fatigue. Because you can't pour from an empty cup, and you got to find ways to take just a few minutes for you, whatever that might mean. Um, so once again, we tried to jam pack the guide
Thank you.
with a little bit of everything.
I also, I'm kind of going through it and scrolling and reading some more. I also like that I can find joy and fulfillment in my role caring for others. Because I really do love doing this. Like I feel that this is what I was made to do.
Hmm.
Um, and kind of when you enjoy, and like I said, I know things are hard, but like remembering that what you're doing is making a positive impact for the people that you love, um, it's a good feeling.
Right. And that's what this slide here is about, finding joy and fulfillment in your role as caregiving for others.
Yeah.
Um, As a caregiver, though, you have to remind yourself it's really difficult to pour from an empty cup. I remember working early in my career with mental health therapists, and they would often say after, uh, after several groups, they said, "Well, we're always here for others. Who is there for us?" And a lot of them were struggling because they gave so much of themselves as a case manager or as a therapist. Um, and a lot of times they went home and jumped out TV or found other drugs or alcohol. Um, and compassion fatigue hits us all, whether, we're at home as a mom, in the field as a professional. Um, it's so easy to get caught up into the negativity. And the idea behind the universal guide, universal is for everyone. We try to make it for everyone. Um, this is another one of my favorites. Each day with a positive mindset. I take 10 minutes in the morning and just sit on the front porch and drink coffee and try and focus on the positives in life. It makes a huge difference.
I agree.
So, go
I,
ahead.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to add, I'm still going through them. Is it okay if I talk about it one more?
Sure, which one?
Okay, so I kind of wanted to go through the I am making a positive difference in the world through my work as a caregiver.
Mm-hmm.
I really like this one as well. Um, Personally, because I am also a preschool teacher. Um, and so I use my um advocacy towards the children in my class and in the center, with them having special needs. I'm able to take what I know from being a special needs mom and put it out there, to the
Right,
parents and helping the kids, when other people don't understand how to, um, like, help these children.
right,
I can kind of like step in and say, hey, I know that not all kids are the same, but I can use my tools, to help other people. And just like having my page, I feel that it provides emotional support, not only for myself, but a lot of things that I post are relatable for a lot of other special needs parents. So
right.
I think that's
And
great to have that community.
preschool is also a precious age for children, um,
Yeah.
where you really start to see what sort of difficulties they might be having. And early intervention is so important.
Oh,
Um,
yes.
and I'm sure a lot of the parents, I know that Ben's mom was in denial up till age 5. And it wasn't until she seen a show on Oprah about autism and horses that she called me out of the blue. And it was a good thing I was sitting down. She said, "Can you get me any kind of resources you can on autism?" I fell out of my chair and said, "Absolutely, I'll have it to you as soon as I can."
That's
Um,
wonderful.
but so sometimes parents are just, they're not sure. Sometimes doctors aren't even sure, especially with our autistic kids.
Yeah,
Um,
that's definite.
um, so, and if that wasn't enough, where are we at? Oh, we're only halfway through. Caregivers notes, easy to find, focus and balance. Um, Here is a journal for you, for caregivers out there that can, once again, you can design it, you can decide about it. This is sent as a PDF download, so you can literally go through the entire journal and print out your favorite pages. Um, you can use it on a tablet, a cell phone, a computer screen. You can print hard copies of it if you'd like. We tried to include something for everyone. Once again, there's something about being organized and just writing it out. Today I will be. Um, today, here, is this what we were talking about positive affirmations? Today you will
Yes.
try.
Yeah, this is basically what I do in my journaling. I set in my intentions. Um, so like this says, like today I will attract. I like to say it as like I already have it. So,
Hmm.
you know, today I will come across some money. I have a lot of money. Um, I think this works really, really well because like, we were talking about earlier when we're saying things like we're walking into the day with positive energy. We're saying today's going to be a good day. Before I walk into work every day, I always say it's going to be a quick day, it's going to be an easy day, and it's going to be a great day. And sometimes it does end up being not so great, but I like to go in with an open mind, that it's going to be good. And then it starts off wonderful. So I really like doing the intentions because I think they really, really work.
Gotcha. So it's almost a short version of a vision board, maybe?
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
There's another one thankful for. Oh, I think those intentions were so great, we added two.
yeah. I just seen
They were
that.
really important. Yeah. Um, something here, daily routines. Sometimes people need different categories. Um, we went through and tried to include everything that a person might need. They want to create their own journal. Um, if you like a certain format, you can print them as many as you need. Um, this comes through as a PDF, so I do believe that you can write on it.
Jim, one of the things that a caregiver who saw this
Hmm.
thought of it. Now they have parents with dementia, both of them.
Okay.
And what they thought is, if I ever want to take a day off, or if my sister was coming in to, give me respite, this sort of journal and planner can be used for moms and dads meal planning, the things they like, their routine. So she said that's what she was going to use it for. And I said, whatever
Great.
works, whatever works. But it's wonderful because you can have it as your backup if something happens to you, God forbid, even if you come down with the flu or laryngitis and someone else has to step in, they need some sort of, guide so they're not starting at square zero or ground
Right. And
zero, sorry.
that's a great
Yeah,
thought. Some of these are.
yeah, I like that idea. It's a really good idea.
So, daily workout challenge in case you want to work out. Notes planner of we tried to do 2 or 3 different progress notes or to-do list. I really like the to-do list because I fill it out before I go out to the shopping center, and then I forget and leave it in my car. And then it's a challenge to see, hey, how many did I get on the list? So that works out real. But once again, these you can use on a cell phone, a tablet, take it with you, what have you. Um, you always have to remember to stop and just be kind to yourself. Do something for yourself. Take 5 for you. Take that bubble bath, or take your shoes off and walk outside. Whatever it is that helps recharge your batteries.
Make
Um,
make a snow angel after the snowstorm.
I know, but for
I
for
know you
people in
probably can't
Florida
think
that we
about
can't
that.
do that now, can't we? Can go to the beach and do.
Right. You could do a sand angel.
We could. Um, Once again, the goal for to get printed on Amazon was 86 pages, so we actually put in positive affirmation cards. You can print these out, cut them out, um, or actually print them with a background on the other side if you want to get real fancy. So we tried to really include something for everyone. By my say today, we're trying to do our best to connect with others, to connect with other people, wonderful people, especially like um, Autism Mom and her group. Um, so what we're trying to do is we're offering this workshop to workshop viewers a chance to pick up the guide, all 87 pages for $3.95. The only way you can get this if you just email us at By My Side Today with the code word workshop. We'll send you an invoice through PayPal, where you can easily just pay the $3.95 and then instantly download the entire guide, whether you want to keep it, like I said, on your cell phone or your tablet, computer, or have it printed out. It is available also on Amazon for $19.95, but it comes out full color and glossy pages and pretty nice. Um, but we're here for people. Please let us know what we can do to help you in the future. I want to thank our speakers, Miss Debbie and Miss Katrina. We couldn't have done this tonight without you. And please feel free to share this with others. Debbie, do we have anything else on the chat?
No, I think that's it. We appreciate those of you that participated and feel free to let us know if there's anything we can do for you in the future.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
I'm appreciative too. I just want to say that I ordered it off of Amazon. So I'm going to be sharing snippets of this on my page, and I would really appreciate anyone who needs it to do this, because this is awesome.
Wonderful. Thank you all
Thank you.
for joining us tonight. And please let us know what we can do to help you in the future.
Take
Thank
care,
you.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.